Okay, so let's talk about rubber meets the road, application in this whole thing. I love trying to switch embouchure stuff when I'm not playing much. So, if you've got some extended break, like a Christmas break or whatever, or if you have time over the summer or whatever, where you really don't have to like play those high notes because now I'm doing a new embouchure, that's the time to do it. And I like doing it in a mid-range, not super low, not super high, not super loud, not super quiet, something mid-range. And you don't want to be worried about fingers. So at home we've got some just simple tunes, like we just look at a hymn book or whatever, and you could play along with those middle range things. And as you're doing it, you play one measure with your new embouchure, the thing you've kind of figured out. You've done all these experimenting, and then you check it, and you make sure, am I still getting my perfect, most beautiful sound? And then you adjust if you need to, and then you play one more measure, and at the end you stop, you hold the note, and you check it. And you do this over and over again. Eventually you get to the point where you're doing 2 bars, then 4 bars, then 8 bars. Past 8 bars, I think it's a little bit less useful. At that point, I usually just start, I recommend recording. So you'll record yourself, play a whole piece, one whole verse of the whatever, and then at that point you go back and listen to it and you say, oh, when I went into the higher stuff, then my voice or my tone slipped, or whatever. And at that point you could be able to give yourself a little bit more feedback. But the small chunks are really gold. And I kind of think about this in terms of 3 stages. So the first stage is just the experimenting, where you're trying to, okay, I'm going to do my lips a little bit further in, and then I'm going to slide them open a little bit and do a combination of the 2 or whatever. And actually, that's a good point. When you do pull your lips in, they're closer together, and so you have to slide your lips further apart because you pulled them in. Just a valuable side thing right there. But anyway, so the stage 1 is where you're going through and you're doing all the experimentation. And then you're finding your best tone. Then stage 2 is where, when you're thinking about it, you can like make it happen. But when you're not thinking about it, you're worried about fingers or whatever other stuff going on, you slip back into your old habits. And the hardest thing, I think, really isn't going from trying to find it in stage 1. I think it's trying to make it a habit. And so going from stage 2 to stage 3, I think, is the hardest. And so that's a really good exercise where you just check yourself, check yourself, check yourself. And do it in smaller chunks, go into bigger chunks. And you'll be able to get it there. This whole thing sets it up for a more efficient buzz, so when you add fast air, that you really get the full benefit of it.